The line.
Order!
Get Brexit done.
Brexit creates uncertainty.
Get Brexit done.
Brexit creates uncertainty.
Unlock!
Welcome to the last in the series of the Jordan Brexit vlogs. Leading up to Halloween, but 31st of October actually didn't involve Brexit at all. So in the end, these vlogs have just turned into a lot of hot air about me venting about subjects that do matter, not getting much airtime, and of course, some silly videos to go with it.
I've known him 20 years and said, Boris, if you become Prime Minister, do you give me your word we live on the 31st of October, come hell or high water? And he said, look, Mark, we've got to leave, otherwise the Tory party is finished. We're leaving. That swung it for me.
Damn, that shit was dope.
Operation Brock, as you know, was implemented and then taken down when the general election was announced. That lasted all of about a day and cost probably quite a lot of money. So we have an extension now to January 2020, but with this election only a few days, well, probably a week and whatever away, it could throw everything into doubt. So what do these candidates stand for? Here's a quick summary.
The first thing we will do is stop Brexit.
Only a Conservative government can get Brexit done.
A credible leave option alongside Remain on a referendum to the people of this country.
So it's easy to summarise what they stand for in regards to Brexit, but what it means in the long run, who knows? All I know is Boris Johnson has an oven-ready meal.
People go to the country and say, come on, let's get this thing done. We've got an oven-ready deal, put it in the microwave as soon as we get back after the election on Friday, on the 12th of December. Get it done, and then let's get on.
So that last bit is clause 30. Obviously that still provides us with a scary proposition of no deal. So we have to keep that in mind. No deal is still on the table. But if we take that deal and we enter a transition period, that is where you will hear the term free trade agreement an awful lot. Now, let's be clear about one thing. If the World Trade Organization Director General suggested it will take 5 to 6 years to develop a comprehensive free trade agreement, it's not going to be done by the end of 2020. But talks suggest there's no further extension. That's the line they're taking. So there's a bit of a problem there, isn't there, I think? But the point I'm trying to make is a free trade agreement is not a customs union. There is customs paperwork and, you know, agents will still be required to process all these documents and data. Dr. Anna Jazuska, a trade expert, is someone I follow and I think everyone should. She's part of what I deem as the Holy Trinity of Pauline Bastidon and Ali Renison, who all discuss in fair and unbiased terms about what we face in regards to Brexit. So just watch these videos and watch carefully in between. There's a graph that Dr. Jazuska has drawn showing exactly what paperwork is required with whatever agreement we end up with. It's very interesting.
The Prime Minister has said he would not apply for an extension to the transition period, and that under his Prime Ministership we will be leaving on the end of December 2020. And what I'm trying to find out is whether it would actually probably be easier for us to leave without a deal on the 31st of January next year, rather than get ourselves into the never-ending of trying to find a future political relationship sorted out within such a short space of time.
Just to add to this very quickly, it's a bit of a false premise to think that if we leave on a no-deal basis, we'll get Brexit done. Because what does it actually mean to get Brexit done? If we leave with a no deal, we'll straight after that be back at the table trying to sort out customs, trying to sort out other areas, and we'll be talking about Brexit for years to come. So even if we leave with on the 31st, no deal, we'll still be talking about Brexit, we'll still be negotiating issues relating to Brexit. So I don't think you can have a clean Brexit and get it done.
What would be the investment of time that might be required? Is this straightforward for a business to understand, or is it likely to be complex? And what could be some of the legal consequences of businesses getting this wrong?
So in the recent impact assessment, HMRC published the third version of the impact assessment about 3 weeks ago. They estimated that even for a large business that ships or exports and imports regularly, it's up to 1 hour 45 minutes per declaration to find that information. For a business that has never imported and exported, that's very hard to estimate, but it's the same way, like if you were to all of a sudden start to submit your own tax declarations or VAT declarations for your company or for your income tax, you would need to spend some time to understand how it works before you can do it. But there's obviously sort of a learning curve whereby you invest that time in the beginning and then gradually takes less time. But again, you probably will hire a customs broker, and then you will probably need to have someone advising you internally, either an in-house customs person or a consultant or external help, at least initially.
So FTAs and customs agents are something we will definitely have to revisit. Obviously, I will have to do some serious homework regarding FTAs. In other news, John Bercow has stepped down. He's the Speaker of the House, as you know, order. Yeah, I quite enjoyed his time there as a neutral. He kept everyone in check. You know, some could argue he got in the way and various things, but you know, for me personally, he lightened it up a little bit and kept things interesting. So here's a brief video of his time and his exit.
Behave yourself! Be a good boy, young man! Order! Leave the chamber, get out, we'll manage without you. I couldn't give a flying flamingo what your view is. It's rude, it's stupid, it's pompous, and it needs to stop. I'm not having it in this chamber. That is the end of the matter. Order! Order! Quiet! Calm yourself, take up yoga. Very rude for members. Order! That is the beginning and the end. That is House to now adjourn. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order. Order.
Very moving, I think you'll agree. Incidentally, right as we speak, a new Speaker of the House is being voted in. So by the time you watch this, you'll probably know all about who it is. What's up next? Young Forwarder Network is next week. It's sold out. This is the East Anglia launch. It is sold out, but if you do want to still come, register in the link, and we will do our best to get you there. It's going to be a good afternoon. Try and convince your boss that it's worth you coming, because it's designed to help you learn as you're new to the industry. And finally, I bring to you a badge of honor. My last vlog was called Fake News, so I must be doing something right if it's fake news. I want to show you two things before I leave. The first one from earlier this year, not saying it's fake news, but it's uninformed, and it's a lot of this stuff which was quite frustrating to hear. So watch this one.
So you don't think there'll be turbulence? You don't think?
No.
No,
I think it's all been vastly overhyped. Well, Switzerland's fine, Norway's fine. Lots of countries are not in the EU.
Switzerland, of course, has borders with the EU,
yes,
which
it does.
A lot of your colleagues spent a lot of time denying that they exist.
Well, you can pretty well drive through the borders between Switzerland.
Not if you're a lorry driver.
Not true. There are plenty of roads where you can simply drive through.
Ask a lorry driver. I suggest you do.
So drivers can simply cross into countries if they can find a secret way in. Well, that would solve a lot of the problems we've been trying to address in these vlogs. Okay, and lastly, Donald Trump surprisingly entered the election debate in true Donald Trump style when he phoned into random station LBC, which was at the time being hosted by none other than Mr. Nigel Farage, who is now, strangely, not standing. So I leave you this short video and wish you as pain-free run up to the election as possible. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure and a lot of fun, and see you again sometime in the future.
Monstrous interference. I'd rather he
Monstrous interference?
Yes, I'd rather he stayed in Washington, frankly, if that's what he's going to do. I mean, come on, you wouldn't expect the British Prime Minister to intervene in your presidential election. You wouldn't expect the British Prime Minister to endorse one candidate or another.
I know that you and him will end up doing something that could be terrific. If you and he get together, it's unstoppable force. And Corbyn would be so bad for your country. He'd be so bad. He'd take you in such a bad way. He'd take you into such bad places. But
all of the things that you're asking about, I was against at that time, and I'm still against. I haven't changed very much. Been very consistent. I'm an extremely stable genius.
Your trade with us could be 4 to 5 times higher than it is right now. That would make your country much bigger economically than it is right now, and you're being held back by the European Union. And I have a magic wand. I could deal with it very easily. All I have to do is a certain step, and they'll be coming and dealing with me very easily.
I'm an extremely stable genius.
It's election time, and this guy, Mark Zuckerberg, is going to play a hugely important role because Facebook is going to be used by all the political parties to target you with ads. And what do we want?